Dear learners, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Munisha Halawat from Institute of Hotel Management, Dehradun. Today, we shall be taking module number 29, titled Purchasing and Indent for Volumes, under paper Food Production Operation and Management. The learning objectives of this module are to understand the definition of purchasing control, to understand the objectives of purchasing for volume, to analyze standard purchase specifications of various food commodities, to understand the methods of food purchasing for volumes, to know about indenting, factors involved in indenting. Introduction. A manufacturing company is required to invest a huge amount of money in purchasing materials. It is therefore essential to exercise a proper material and purchase control. Purchase control refers to the purchase of materials of right quality in a right quantity, at a reasonable price and at a right time. It requires a good amount of attention to the purchasing procedures of material relating to cost, quality, volume, time and delivery of materials. Purchase control starts with the issue of materials, requisition, and ends with the receipt of materials and payment of the cost of the materials. Procure quality material at optimum cost through innovative concepts, ideas, and constant vendor development. Encourage use of eco-friendly products and uphold ethical business to ensure regular and timely deliveries to internal customers. Concept of purchasing control. The conventional thought is that the vendors have to sell their product in order to run their business, get a good return on their investments, or sometimes to even survive in the business. The buyer can determine the price and dictate other commercial terms to the vendor. There are many who have even conceived that if the buyer is bigger than the seller, the latter would accept the terms of the buyer. It is invariably felt that there are thousands of sellers available in the market and there is a wide option to buy, price playing a minor factor. But that is not so. The quality of the product service, recurring cost after procurement, seller's reputation in the market, urgency of the product, delivery schedule, payment terms, vendor-buyer relationship, demand and supply are what controls the buying mechanism. Materials form the largest single expenditure item in most of the organizations. A material manager plays an important role in improving the profitability of the organization and rate of returns on investment. Profitability can be improved by increasing the sales volume and controlling waste during production. But the right material procurement at the right time helps reduce a major portion of expenses incurred in running a business. It could be the form of price reduction, good quality, timely delivery, good service, etc., obtained through negotiation. Objectives of purchasing. To buy materials and services of the right quality in the right quantity at right price from the right source and at the right time. To buy competitively and wisely. To achieve maximum integration with the other departments. To develop good, healthy vendor relationship. To develop reliable alternative sources of supply. Aims of purchasing policy. Steps involved in purchasing process in order to ensure food cost control and avoid pilferage so that food cost does not go high. Aims. The primary aim in purchasing of food is to obtain the best quality of merchandise based on specifications established at the most favorable price. Purchasing staff. Purchasing is a function concerned with the search, selection, purchase receipt, storage and final use of a commodity in accordance with catering policy of the establishment. The person responsible for purchase is also responsible for receiving, storing and issuing. In large hotels, there is a full-time purchase manager officer responsible for all purchases. F&B commodities and non-consumable. In small hotels, the storeroom items, food are purchased by an assistant manager, and perishables food such as meat, poultry, fish, vegetables, etc. are purchased by the chef. Source of supply. A catering establishment, depending on its size, type and style and also on the quantity, quality of commodities required, decides on the source of supplies. They may be direct purchase in cash from market, through suppliers, on contract and in cash, direct from wholesalers. Selection of supplier. In case of selection of a supplier, a great deal of exercise and detailed inquiries have to be made. Details about the firm to find its reputation, information from other customers about their product and services. Recent price list, trade terms and conditions such as cash discount, trade discount, etc. Sample of products to check quality. A visit to the supplier's firm. Minimum order level. Ordering procedures. Delivery procedures. Part deliveries or standing orders. On selection, the suppliers are put on an approved suppliers list and periodically they are evaluated on price performance, quality performance, delivery performance. Types of food purchase. There are two categories. Perishables. These are those items that have a short useful life after they are received. They are best to be procured on a daily basis with 1 to 3 days stock in hand. Example, vegetables, dairy products, etc. Non-perishables. These are those items that have a longer shelf life. They can be stored for weeks or even months. Example, cereals, pulses, etc. Quality purchasing. The quality of an item to be followed would be determined by the purchase manager, executive chef and the F&B manager as per the catering policy. The menu requirements and its price range, which should be stated in the standard purchase specification. The quality to be purchased should be stated in terms of grade or brand. Example, tomato ketchup, Kisan, prawn, grade A. Food quality factors for different commodities. The food quality factor is mainly concerned with the food, that is, texture, composition, keeping qualities, flavor, smell, etc. The food quality factors for certain commodities are as follows. Fruits and vegetables. Count and weight. Wastage in terms of peel. Shape and size. Color. Firmness. Smell. Taste. Canned foods. Drained weight. Density, juices, etc. Color, taste and appearance. Yield. Definition of yield. Yield has two meanings that seem quite different. An amount or to give way. The yield of the recipe was 12 brownies. To avoid being tripped, Mary was forced to yield to the children on her way to the brownie plate. While these meanings seem quite different, they both essentially mean to give. The recipe gives 12 brownies to those who follow it, and Mary is giving up her right to go first. Yield can also mean the rate of return on an investment. It is the maximum usable amount that is obtainable from a particular product. Tests to arrive at a standard yield. Usually, yield tests are performed on food bought as purchased and need to be converted to ready to cook. Items received already proportioned need not undergo any yield test, soybean, cashew, etc. Some foods received ready to cook might need yield test. Yield tests tell us yield of kg, liters, grams, portions and so on. Cost per kg, liter, gram and so on. Yield tests are pre-controlled technique because we know the cost of the item and we can adjust the menu selling price before serving the item. The objective of yield testing is simply to discover the respective yields of whole range of commodities available for any one purpose and to determine the unit cost concerned. Example of test to arrive at standard yield: butchery test, cooking test, waste, cooking time, usable meat, cooking losses, bones, taste after cooking, number of portions, appearance after cooking, fat amount and color, flavor after cooking, color of meat flesh, shrinkage, bone structure, color of bones. Standard purchase specification: shrinkage, bone structure, color of bones. Standard purchase specification (SPS) is concise description of quality, size, weight or count factors desired for a particular item. An SPS must contain definition of each item, grade or brand name of the item, size, weight or count, unit against which prices should be quoted, special note for the commodity, photograph of the ideal standard item, example, table apple, cherry tomato. Objectives of SPS: to establish a suitable buying standard for a particular commodity for the catering establishment, to furnish to the suppliers in writing in specific terms the requirements of the catering establishment, to help in deciding the price of a commodity, to obtain a standard product, to measure the performance against the standard product. Advantages of SPS: establishing a buying standard of a commodity so that a standard product is available for the customer. Inform the supplier in writing by drawing or with a photograph or describing precisely what is required. Provides detailed information to the receiving department and store as to the standard of foods to accept. Makes everyone aware of the differences that can occur because of the difference in size, weight, quality and quantity of a product. The specifications act as an aid memoir to all concerned of what was agreed. Purchase procedure: the purchase procedure will depend upon the nature, size, standard, location of the establishment and the forecast of future requirements. The purchase procedure has the following steps: preparing standard purchase specification, contacting new suppliers, taking quotations from both new and approved suppliers, selecting suppliers, discussing and deciding delivery needs with the suppliers, placing purchase order form, sources of supply, and establishment depending upon its size, type and style, and also on its quantity and quality of commodities required decides its sources of supply. It may be direct purchase in cash form, market or suppliers on contract basis, or directly from the wholesaler. In case of selection of a supplier, a great deal of exercises and detailed inquiries have to be made on selection. The supplier are put on an approved supplier list and periodically they are evaluated on price, quality and delivery performances. Different methods of food purchasing. Purchasing methods. Contract purchasing. A contract is entered with a supplier for the commodities to be supplied at regular intervals, usually at an agreed upon price which is advantageous for both. The specific period contract, it determines the source of supply and the price of goods for a stated period, that is for 3 to 6 months, suitable for items which has fairly stable price like bread, butter, milk, etc. Specific quality contract. It aims to secure continuity of supply of a given quality of an essential item of an agreed price over a particular trading period, suitable for fruits, vegetables, etc. Periodical purchasing. The requirements of the establishment are periodically estimated and orders are placed on a weekly, fortnightly, monthly basis. This is suitable for groceries. Daily market list, daily market quotation. This method is used for purchasing perishables on a daily basis. A daily market list is prepared by the executive chef on the basis of quick stock taking of food. On receipt of the daily market list, the purchase officer contacts approved suppliers for their prices and then orders for the supplies. Cash and carry. It is purchasing from the market at a competitive price and the buyer can personally check the quantity and quality of each item. The purchaser has to pay in cash and has also to arrange for the goods to be transferred to the establishment. Paid reserve. In this, the caterer buys in advance a large quantity of items like beef, jumbo prawns, etc. to cover the needs of future months and stocks of which is kept with the supplier, and the supplier is paid for this. The caterer requisitions his requirement from the supplier. Cost plus. In this case, the approved supplier is paid exactly the same price that he has paid for the commodities plus an agreed percentage to include the cost of handling, delivery charges and a margin of profit suitable for welfare catering establishments. One-stop shopping. Total supply. There are some suppliers who are able to offer a full supply service of all commodities. The advantage of this system is that the establishment has to negotiate with one supplier a reduced volume of paperwork and fewer deliveries. Centralized purchasing suitable in chain operations. In this system, the requirements of each individual unit is relayed to a central office. The central office decides the total requirements of all units and then makes total purchases either for delivery to the individual units while he deliver or for centralized delivery. Sealed bids tender purchase. In this procedure, sealed quotations are required from one or more suppliers and orders are placed where the terms are of best advantage to the buyer. After all, elements of price, quality, yield and service are considered. For a government institute, the offer goes to the lowest bidder. Standing order. The supplies of certain food items, especially of highly perishables like milk, ice cream, bread, etc., can be asked for a supply without securing price quotations first. However, it is very important that the latest prices of these items are available to the person when checking the bill for these items. Additional methods apart from the above mentioned method of food purchase, the following method are also applicable in hotels. Emergency purchase. To purchase an item on an emergency basis, a risk purchase form has to be filled up and sent to the supplier. Total supply method. There are some suppliers who are able to offer supply service of all the commodities. The advantage of this system is that the company has to negotiate with one supplier and there is a reduced volume of paperwork. Purchase order forms. It is a complete record of all orders made and it helps the receiving department to take necessary action for any foodstuffs arriving late. The purchase order is made in 1+5 copies. Original copy to the supplier, first copy to accounts, second copy to purchase department, third copy receiving department, fourth copy indenting department, fifth copy master copy. Ordering cost. It is the cost incurred in placing an order with a supplier. Example, stationery, manpower, time, transportation, etc. Carrying cost. It is a cost incurred in making arrangement for the commodities to be delivered to the establishment. Example, manpower, transportation, etc. Economic order quantity. The quantity which is most economical to order and to stock considering all factors bearing on the situation. The basis of the EOQ is the usage rate, ordering cost and the time taken. Basically, the focus is on maintaining optimum levels of each units are there in each lot and the speed at which they are used from the stores. EOQ is equal to 2A into CP divided by SC, where A is equal to annual usage, CP is cost of purchase, SC is storage cost per unit. The size of the economic order quantity depends upon inventory carrying cost, cost of purchasing, consumption, interest on capital, quantity discount. Sometimes economic order quantity is called reorder quantity. Indenting for volumes. Indenting is similar to a requisition which is used as interdepartmental document and in which we indent or summarize the quantity of the ingredients while making a standard recipe and standard purchase specification. Stores scrutinize such indents and collectively place an order with the suppliers to send such material on the specified time and date, which means a document stating the requirements of goods in terms of description of goods, the quality, the specifications, the units and quantity required is specified and sent to the stores who in turn will procure the same and dispatch the same to the department concerned. Use of indent as a control tool. Through indent form, the cooks order perishable ingredients, beverages and other required items required for the production, when they are required and how much is required. Then indent sheet has to be through a proper channel and it has to be approved by the departmental head. Through this form, the stores have to supply those ingredients what is entered in the indent sheet. Apart from this, it will act as one of the document to keep control on ingredients, on wastage, on pilferage, to get the right quantity and quality without any over distribution or under distribution. It is very easy to make indent for a small quantity, but When we make an indent for 1,000 meals or a buffet or a banquet or a coffee shop or industrial canteen, then some amount of experience or yardstick of thumb rules do apply, and a lot of factors should be considered while doing such indents, which are the number of persons to feed. The larger number of people, the lesser the indent quantity becomes. Number of items on the menu, choice provided on the menu, number of non-veg items on the menu and its vegetarian alternatives, whether or not Indian bread or only rice is included, type of people to dine, choice of desserts provided, if a dry or gravy preparation, selling price of the menu, per stock or mise en place, kind of menu has been planned either a la carte or on a banquet or buffet, silver plated or buffet service. Principles of indenting. The indents are made well in advance for regular items, keeping in view the earlier sales trends, fresh bookings, forecast regarding walk-ins, etc. For grocery and dry items, the store request is made for a long period of 4 to 5 days together. For fresh items and perishable items, it is generated for each day. The chef in charge will see what is left in the freezers, refrigerators, kitchen store, and then check the requirement of ingredients for the day and coming days, and then the indent is raised. Indents are made in triplicate. Original copy along with the second copy goes to store, and after the issue is made by store and actual issuing quantities are mentioned on it, a copy of the same goes to accounts F&B control department. Factors affecting indenting: portion size, day of function, type of guest, age, group, religion, type of menu, number of snacks offered, time of service, whether cocktail is offered, whether availability of ingredients, based on what is the type of event, recapitulation. All the factors mentioned must be considered and then work out exactly the cost per portion of each dish and then updating the same yearly in terms of increase in prices and then working out the selling price will give an accurate indenting and costing procedure. Various practical difficulties for volume catering: selling price of menu, sudden change of menu, availability of raw materials, ingredients, different food habits, exact number of guests is not known, different food habits. The indenting is based on assumption. Quantity and quality of different raw materials sometimes vary from region to region. Infrastructure of kitchen, skill level of staff, storage consideration. Due to large number of ingredients, indenting sometimes becomes complicated. Different cooking techniques, difficulty in judging portion size. Dear students, let's summarize. Procure quality material at optimum cost through innovative concepts, ideas and constant vendor development. Encourage use of eco-friendly products and uphold ethical business. To ensure regular and timely deliveries to internal customers, the purchase department ought to be well equipped to buy material in a scientific manner. The person concerned with the procurement should keep his knowledge updated in changing technology, government policies, the price of the product, the right source product, details and so on. If he is completely loaded with many requisitions to deal with, it is likely that the professional approach is spontaneously ignored. This will be a loss to the organization, for the person is always under pressure and quality losses out. Scientific planning, requisition, procurement, and systematic payment, besides sufficient staff, are equally important. Ingredients for successful purchase. In other words, the purchase department should not be viewed as the order typing and signing department. Thank you.